morning regimen. So Farah, do you have any sensitivities in your skin or anything I should know about?
Only the oily T-zone.
Oily T-zone, okay. So oily T-zone is pretty normal. The skin is meant to have a little bit of oil within that area. So that's actually considered normal. So when you wash your skin in the morning, you should have a little bit of oil by the afternoon in the forehead and the nose. That's considered normal. If by the end of the day you have no oil in any area, that's considered dry. And if you get oil production outside of that T-zone, or say you wash your face and within an hour or two you already have oil, that would be considered oily skin. So with Farah's skin, having a little bit of oil in the T-zone is actually healthy. It means that her skin is still working and still creating. So that's a good sign for the aging process, Farah, so you can be happy about that. But we're also going to just focus on balancing out her skin. We want to make sure that there's not too much oil or too much dryness. So we're going to start off with cleansing. So this is the Rosehip Seed Rejuvenating Cleanser. So I used about 2 pumps and a little bit of water. So this cleanser does have a little bit of a lather or a little bit of a bubble, but not a lot. Some of the cleansers that use certain types of, we call them surfactants, like sodium lauryl sulfate. These are very harsh on the skin and they strip the skin of the essential moisture. So we want something that's effective but also balanced. So this is a gel-based cleanser to help remove everything, properly cleanse. And then the rosehip seed extract is naturally high with antioxidants. So it has vitamin A to help with cell turnover and collagen, and vitamin E to help nourish the skin. So we're going to go ahead and just cleanse this. So when we're cleansing, the temperature of the water that we use is always best to be warm. For somebody with sensitive skin, they can use slightly cooler water, which helps to strengthen the capillaries, but you never want to use too hot of water because too much heat can create too much inflammation in the skin. So you want like a nice warm temperature, something that you would bathe a baby in, but nothing too hot. So now that she's properly cleansed, we're going to balance her pH. So we're going to use the Energizing Skin Balance. It's not going to be drying on the skin. It's going to bring her pH back to its perfect balance. It has coenzyme Q10, which is an antioxidant, and then we have a lot of different extracts. So close your eyes, right? You're going to feel a light mist. So there's chamomile, which helps to calm and soothe. There's papaya, which helps to resurface the skin. There's cucumber, also for calming. So when you look at all the different extracts, they have like a support system within the product as well. So now her skin's clean and balanced. Her pH has been rebalanced, so her skin's ready to receive active ingredients. So we're going to use the Active C. So remember, this is our daytime protection against free radical exposure. So we're using 20% L-ascorbic acid. L-ascorbic acid is known to be the most effective when it comes to powerful antioxidants within the skin. Then we have other vitamins as well. So we have vitamin B3, which is niacinamide. Now niacinamide increases circulation, it increases the ways that the cells communicate. So sometimes you might feel a little bit of tingling, or you might notice a little bit of rosiness on the skin, a little bit of like pink, which is okay. After we go through the process, everything is going to calm down. But this is an active product, so you may feel it. The niacinamide is also excellent. The vitamin B3 is excellent for pigmentation. So when we start to think of the ingredients we use, you'll hear that it's targeting hyperpigmentation and anti-aging, preventative and corrective. So we try and use ingredients that have multiple functions. So it's like a powerhouse of really active ingredients. So we also have vitamin B5, which I noticed I think is in the Velixer as well. That's pantothenic acid, so it's good for just moisture and nourishment for the skin. And then we also have vitamin E, which is very nourishing, so it adds like a light bit of oils to the skin to replenish, as well as stabilizing the vitamin C. Then we also have ferulic acid, and if you remember, ferulic acid is what we find in the shell of different plant seeds. So within the shell, we have ferulic acid that protects the DNA of the plant so that when that seed germinates and grows into a bush or a tree, all the information is correct. So that same ferulic acid that protects the DNA within the plant seeds is also protecting the DNA within the skin. So this is a really impressive ingredient. There's really impressive research, so it's really exciting that we get to use it with the vitamin C. It's two really great things added together. So her skin has a nice treatment for the day. We want to also make sure we treat her eye area. So we're going to use the Eye Beauty. So the skin around the eyes is different than the skin in the rest of the face. It's much thinner, and typically there's less fat underneath that area. So that's why we can usually see dark circles, sometimes puffiness or eye bags. So we're using our ring finger. We're just using a little bit of product. We're going to start by tapping around her orbital area. And then once we've applied the product, we're also going to help to massage it in. So the massage isn't only for her penetrating the product, it's also to stimulate the lymphatic system. So the lymphatic system is in charge of removing the toxins from your body. So when we stimulate the lymphatic system with the extracts that are here, we're letting the skincare work with the body, because the body knows what it's doing. We just need to help it along sometimes. So we have caffeine, which helps to increase the circulation, move out the excess fluid. And then we have quinoa extract to help fortify and strengthen the capillaries. So the capillaries are like micro little blood vessels in the skin. When they burst is sometimes when you see like a little red squiggly line, and they're very fragile. So the capillaries need to be protected. So we use different extracts that go in and they help to fortify and strengthen. So you can almost think of them like a little mini pipeline that carries blood and nutrients throughout the skin. So when those red blood cells accumulate underneath the eyes, this is when we see dark circles. So we're working to target the eye area in a couple different ways, by increasing the circulation to move everything out, but also to help strengthen to prevent the future. Okay? So her eyes are moisturized and treated. Okay? So now we're going to go ahead and continue to moisturize her skin. So we're going to use the Aqua Restore. So the Aqua Restore is not just a moisturizer, it's also an extension of the treatment. So when we talk about hydration and moisture, we have two main ingredients. One is hyaluronic acid. So hyaluronic acid, we talked about yesterday, is found in very high amounts in babies. That's what makes them so squishy. And hyaluronic acid is able to hold on to 1,000 times its own weight in water. So when it goes in, it's able to plump itself. So this doesn't only help with hydration, it also gives you an instant anti-aging effect, right? Because if you picture, we talked about the shriveled up raisin cells. If they become plump, it starts to lift the skin and then the deep wrinkles start to pop out. So it can give you almost like a quick fix for. So sometimes you hear people say, I have such dry skin, I can use even the heaviest cream and my skin is still dry. So a lot of other moisturizers out there use very thick waxes, even petroleum-based, which basically causes a film on the skin. So when you feel it in your hands, you think, oh, this is very rich. This is going to be great for my skin. Really, you're just putting a barrier. It would be like if you took Vaseline jelly and just smeared it on your face. So it's like you have to make a deposit first before you close it off, right? So hyaluronic acid is a way that we can actually deposit moisture into the skin without just creating a barrier. So hyaluronic acid has a very small molecule, so it's able to penetrate deeply and plump. We also want some natural oils in the skin, so we use something called squalane. So squalane is known as the oilless oil because it completely absorbs into the skin without leaving any sort of a greasy texture. So squalane comes from a very refined process that comes originally from olives. So it's a natural source, but it's what makes this moisturizer suitable for all skin types, is that we're using ingredients that will hydrate the skin, water-based, and we're using a very light oil that's almost like a smaller molecule that's able to absorb. So even people with oily skin will be able to use the moisturizer and not feel like it's too heavy. So that's just the moisture. We also have resveratrol and then a list of peptides. So resveratrol is known as the corrective antioxidant. Most antioxidants are usually more preventative. So resveratrol is known in this, if you look at the medical studies of resveratrol, it actually helps to lighten the hyperpigmentation and to treat the photoaging. So we have a high percentage of resveratrol. We use more than most companies typically use. And then we have a list of peptides. So these peptides also help to stimulate collagen production and to minimize the fine lines and wrinkles. Everything that we're doing, our goal is to bring the skin to balance and also to treat it with effective ingredients that aren't going to be irritating, that are safe for everybody. So her skin completely absorbs the moisturizer. There's nothing left to feel, but her skin feels healthy and plump. So I can feel it under my fingers. It has like a nice spongy texture to it. Okay, so now that she's properly moisturized, we've given her a lot of vitamins, a lot of nutrients for the day. We want to make sure that we completely protect her. She's already been protected from free radical exposure with the Active C, but we haven't protected her from UVA and UVB yet. Okay, so we're going to use the Sun Shield, which is SPF 30, and it has a rating of PA+++. So we talked about most sunscreens, the regulation is only for UVB protection, and most people don't know that. So UVB is the burning ray. We're protecting her from a sunburn, but we're not really protecting her stem cells and her melanin cells and the DNA. We're not protecting those cells, which could possibly even be more important, right? Because that's going to be long-term damage. So we're going to use the Sun Shield 30. So you can see in my hands, it's a very thin texture, right? So it's not like you're applying this thick cream. This is perfect for everyday use. For ladies that wear makeup even, this goes on underneath the makeup flawlessly. So this is also water resistant up to 40 minutes. So if she's in a very humid environment, or she's perspiring or swimming, anything like that, she will still be protected. At home, we would want to make sure we apply it to the neck and the chest as well. So you can see, if you met her, you wouldn't even know she's wearing sunscreen. And you wouldn't know she's wearing an SPF 30. It looks beautiful on her skin. So the ingredients in the sunscreen also have a very calming and healing property to them. So there's aloe and different minerals that help to calm the skin. So if you think of the activity of the niacinamide and the L-ascorbic acid in the Active C might bring some stimulation to the skin, that's okay. By the time we complete the regimen with the hyaluronic acid and the Sun Shield, everything is calm and everything is balanced. So she's been cleansed and toned, treated and protected, moisturized. She's perfect for the day.